Hey guys, welcome to another video with me, Crazy Skin Dog, and this one is part 2 of the second round of the SRK Championship coming from Hereford Raceway. So in part 1 we saw heats 1 and 2. Heat 1 wasn't great, and then heat 2 was really good. So we're just hoping, we've got one more heat before the finals. We're hoping to have a decent result and get through this with a good result and put us in a decent final to score some good points for the championship and for the team. So we're going to jump straight on in, you know the format by now, and yeah, we'll get on with heat 3. Okay, so here we are coming out of the pits, and yeah, we were feeling pretty good for this heat because I'm starting P6, but other than pole, the 4 other drivers in front of me are all SRK2. So in theory there's places to be gained here, so I'm looking for a top 3 finish in this heat really. I had good pace in the second heat, and yeah, I'm feeling good. So we're lining up on the right hand side of the grid, and we're going to point very aggressively left because you always want to get over left, otherwise you just lose out going under the bridge. And yeah, get in place, wait for the lights, make sure we're all ready, get helmet straight, and wait for the call from the marshal. He's going through the middle now. He'll tell us to look at the lights, so we will do that. There he goes, and it's green, away we go. We're going to pull over, as I said, straight away to the left. I have got a better drive than the guy in front, but it's pointless trying to go around him because then the guy behind you just has the inside line here. See, I get a bit of a bump coming out there, and then we get a chain reaction of bumps kind of into that corner, and we're just going to send it up the inside. Now that's not a move that I probably should have made, but it worked. That is exactly how we saw Lucas spin Sam in the previous heat, but the guy in front of me seemed to get bad drive and I was on the inside, so it worked, so we'll take it. And now we're just going to get our head down, try and catch up to this guy in front, and as we see, the top 3 are all battling quite hard. I mess up that hairpin there, but the top 3 are battling quite hard, so that's going to keep them in range of us. So we just need to stick on the back of this guy here and see what opportunities present themselves, see if we can get a good drive down the straight here. No, we're going to go wide a bit, and we're actually going to get challenged, so we're going to have to stay semi-defensive going into this first corner. But we apex quite nicely, but then no, he's still up the inside, but he's going to slot in. I'm not going to defend too hard because it's pointless defending really hard because then we just lose these guys in front. If we just work together, catch up to these guys and make our way through them, then we can be battling for P2, P3 in a few laps time, instead of fighting over P5 and 6 with these guys miles ahead. So we're just kind of staying in line at this point, trying to drive our fastest line and see if we can't catch up on the guys ahead. We get a really good drive around that corner there. See, the guy in front gets a poor drive. He's going to kind of defend, then not, and then we're going to get overtaken by Diego up the inside. No point fighting that too hard, and then Diego's going to, nope, not going to get through. Yeah, no point fighting Diego too hard as he's SRK1 and very fast. So we're now planning to stay behind him, and as he weaves through the traffic, we're just going to follow through the gaps that present themselves. So we're looking alright down that note. We go really wide down the hill there, and you see how much time we lose. Up ahead, Diego's all over the guy ahead, which again just lets us kind of catch up a bit. But now Diego's on the inside, we're gonna try and follow him. So he goes up the inside, we go as well, and then that guy just cuts us off, and we lose out 3 places. And then what's this? Like, I'm so mad about that little sequence, that second hairpin. 2 guys spun ahead, and then one of them just drives straight back at the oncoming traffic, oncoming cars. So now I go to go around him, and then as I've got around him, he's gone right again and blocked me off a second time. It's just, I mean, I get he's frustrated because he's spun, but it's just poor driving from me. Like, if you spin out, unfortunately, if there's a train of cars coming at you and you spun out, you just have to wait for that train of cars to pass. It sucks, but he's completely ruined my race. So that first piece of contact I lost probably 2 places from, and then having to avoid this guy that had spun, I lost another 2 or 3. So I've gone from trying to follow Diego through into 4th, I believe it was, to now way down. I think I'm 9th at this point or something, and that is heat ruined. Yeah, 2 unfortunate incidents. I think trying to follow Diego through was the right move, and the gap was certainly there. And then the second one, I was trying to follow inside, and then as that guy came across, it was just I had to go around him. So yeah, I think it's just a series of unfortunate events there. Yeah, it happens. It's frustrating, but it happens. So now it's just head down and try and see what we can do for the rest of this heat. Obviously there was a lot of battling ahead, so there's going to be opportunities, I guess, but with everybody defending, it's really hard. And you're going to see they're all battling ahead, but there's just no way through for me. I'm not getting good drive out of the hairpins. I wasn't very good into that first hairpin after the straight. I wasn't braking very efficiently into there, and I was just losing drive coming down the hill. I think I was getting that wrong on this day. I felt kind of comfortable with it in the practice event I did before, but in this event I just didn't feel comfortable coming off the bridge. I'm going to see some moves, just some attempts ahead, but we can see everybody's just kind of racing in a line at this point now. They've stopped fighting weirdly at this point. And yeah, it's just another disappointing heat where we've not necessarily made the wrong decisions, but I don't feel like I made any major mistakes there. There's obviously lots of little mistakes, but I don't think I made any major mistake that cost me. I made one there as I hit the tyre barrier, but I don't think it was any major mistake. I think I definitely thought, well, there's the guy in red and black from earlier in the heat just absolutely trying to send it up the inside, and then we're going to go 3 wide round this hairpin, and it's just chaos. There's not great racing, and then unfortunately I think that's Dylan. Yeah, we have a side by side, and yeah, that was a bit messy from both of us. I think I definitely wasn't good racing from me for sure, but yeah, it's just a lot of sketchy moves, I think is the way to describe most of this round, but hey, we're karting, the sun's out, and we're having a good time even if the results aren't going quite well. But this is it, we're coming round the bridge for the last time. And can we get a drag race? No, we get a poor exit out of that bridge again. And that is going to end our heat. Okay guys, so the results from the heats put me on pole for the D final. So there was some confusion in between the finals because I was told or written up on the board as being at the back of the C final. However, just before the final started, I was notified that actually I was pole for the D final. Now when I went to get into my kart, it was kart number 2, and I just couldn't face that kart again. So I did realise afterwards, a couple of days later, that probably part of the problem was that the tyres were flat, because after Brad Shepherd had changed the kart earlier in the day, they had pumped the tyres up. But I did speak to Ryan as well after another event, and he said that it wasn't particularly nice to drive still anyway. It just didn't turn in ever. But so I swapped into a cold kart, so you see I'll have to get through the grid here to take my pole position, because the kart was at the back of the pits. And yeah, fist bump from Dan and Shane there, my teammates, and yeah, we're hoping we can just convert this pole into a win to qualify through to the next final. But here we go, we're all in place, look to the lights, away we go, green light, and we get a decent start actually. We maintain that first place, defend a little bit into this first braking zone, and then see what sort of drive we can get out of this bridge. I'm going to wash a little bit wide, but not terrible, I don't think. It's okay. We're still in first. We go defensive, and then we just wash wide. And Dylan there, he's made a great move. He's really played that one perfectly. So this kart I swapped into was cold, so it hadn't been used for a few heats, so cold tyres, cold engine, so obviously it takes a while to warm up. and yeah, I've just gone in defensive into that big right-hander and washed out wide through the second part of the apex, and he's just capitalised on that and shot up the inside. And now we've got it all to do, because only the winner of each final progresses through into the next one, so we're going to get our heads down and see if we can catch him back up and make a move back. But he's pretty fast, but we're maintaining the gap at the moment by the looks of it. But the carts behind are going to start getting interested soon as well, and then if we have to start defending, we're going to start losing out. So yeah, we're just getting our head down, racing our race, trying to get back into that first position. Probably shouldn't have swapped the cart, but it is what it is, and it's weird. Once a cart gets in your head like that, I was so uncomfortable driving that cart. I just wouldn't turn in, and I just did not want to experience that again. I was already feeling pretty sore at this point, and so I just couldn't face another round in that cart. But there we go, swap into a cold one, and you get a cold cart that you got to warm up. And yeah, we're still taking the race in line, but we're losing out a little bit. We're sliding down that hill. I'm just not taking that very well. We'll see. I think this is Harrison making a move on us, but it's not gonna come off for him, and he has to back out and try another go, and then nudges us. So you see, I'm not happy with that. But in fairness to him, he realises, slots back in behind me, and we go again. That's the way to do it. If you make contact, so you've got another little bit of contact there, but there's lots of carts behind me at that point. If you make contact and the pass is going to be unfair, then just let the person stay ahead, slot back in behind, and go again. That's good racing etiquette, and good racing between me and Harrison. And he's challenging me, and then you see me looking over my shoulder. He's unfortunately not challenging me anymore, because he got taken out coming over the bridge, unfortunately. So I'll link his video down in the description, and you can check his video out and see what happened to him. But yeah, safe to say he got punted, and that gave me a little bit of breathing space for a couple of laps to just kind of race my race and try build a gap on the guys behind and maybe cut down some of this gap ahead. But you can see how monumentally huge a gap it is now. It's going to take some Herculean effort to catch that up. I'm not sure I've got it in me on this particular day. And then yeah, getting that apex. So the first part and the middle part was alright, but I turned in a bit too much for the second part. I clipped the barrier. And yeah, I wasn't comfortable braking in these carts, I just couldn't get it right. So I'm very scruffy, all over the place really. Now in this heat, my fastest lap was not fast. I did a 35.4 second lap as my fastest lap of this final, and my fastest in heat 2 was, we see, I think Dan's caught up to us now, and we're just gonna not leave the door open for him. I think in my second heat I did a 34.3, so I'm a full 1.1 seconds slower than my fastest lap in the practice. And then we see Dan tries to switch back, and he's going to try another, but we got the race in line. We're going to out drag racing down. Yeah, he's going to leave his nose in, but he's going to realise that that's a bit of a lunge and a bit of a nudge, and doesn't want to gain off the back of that nudge. So again, some fair racing, just drops in behind, and we go again for the next one. And we see it's up the inside here, but there's no way I'm leaving that door wide open, and get back ahead and stay ahead. And now we're on full defensive. So Dylan at front has gone. He's disappeared. Yeah, so I'm a full 1.1 seconds a lap slower in this final than I was in my heats earlier. And in fact, in the results, my fastest lap was slower than all the way down to 7th or 8th, I think. So the 5 carts currently behind me are averaging something between 3 and 9/10 a second a lap faster than me, and I'm just defending for my life at this point, just blocking off any potential overtakes, because first is gone. He's unobtainable at this point, and I just want to score as many points as I can, so I'm making sure I finish second here. Just gonna defend, stay ahead. I was surprised how easy it is to defend on this circuit. Obviously it's very open, and there's multiple lines into some of the corners, especially the corner after the finish line. You see a bump barrier there, make a mistake, and Dan's going to look interested up the outside, but he's not going to get the drive himself either, and drops back in behind. That long right-hander there, there's multiple lines through there, and so it feels like there should be lots of overtaking opportunities, but actually, as long as you park it in the right places on these couple of corners that are key, it's relatively easy to defend here. As we can see, I'm staying ahead despite being a lot slower in this particular kart than I was in earlier heats, and yeah, I'm not driving great at this point either anyway. I'm in the D final, dropped to second, so I'm not progressing any further. I'm trying, but it's not ideal, and yeah, I'm just ruining missed opportunities on the day, I think. But head down, finish this final, take as many points as we can, and you know, we do get 2 dropped rounds, I think it is, for the season, or 2 or 3 dropped rounds, so every round doesn't have to be a banger, and a lot of SRK2 drivers struggled in this round. So here we go, we got the last lap board challenged up the inside, but that's not, again, I'm not leaving the door open for that. We're going to get a good drive out. I was pretty decent in that long right-hander, and then we're defending right up the inside. It's the last lap where we're defending flat out. There's no chance to get first. We're actually going to start to lose out there. And then again, we take the race in line. We leave space on the outside, but then it doesn't get better drive than us. And yeah, we're going to stick it on the inside here. And I think, unless we have a particularly bad exit from this corner, which isn't great, but nobody's there to out-drag us, and we're going to take the checkered flag, take that P2 in the D final, and take our points. We enjoyed the day. Sun was shining, we were going karting. What's not to like? Okay then guys, so let's take a look at the final results for the event. We'll start with the winners here. So Neil, he's absolutely smashing it this season. He won, and Morgan, his son, took a second right behind him. So a great day for Neil and for BSRA. And then yeah, we see Zach Venn, Diego, Sam Slater, Seb, and then we got Luke from Swift Cooper A. He finished 8th overall with the fastest lap of the day as well at 34.1. So yeah, not terrible, but he was the only Swift Cooper A driver anywhere near the top, unfortunately. Not a good day overall for SRK, for Swift Cooper. Juniors did really well. They're still leading their championship, but both the A and B lost our lead on the championship, which we'll double check in a moment. So yeah, there we go, we got down to 20 there, and then you see most of the SRK2 guys here, from 21st down to 40th. So I took 35th overall in the end. I was the highest placed Swift Cooper B driver, but yeah, 35th wasn't the best. It is what it is, you know. I was 10th in class, so I mean, top 10 in the class isn't bad. It's decent points in comparison. It's not terrible, like, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Yeah, if I can just keep finishing, and if 10th is the lowest I finish in class all season, then I'm probably on for a decent result in my class, and also contributed really well to the team championship. So top 10 in class has to be the aim each round, so we managed that. It's just the opportunities were there to do much better, just didn't take them, and they didn't necessarily fall my way either. And then we see Shane in 40th, unfortunately, 41st, sorry, unfortunately for him, but he had a good day. He hadn't raced at this track before, but drove really well. Had a good race, and then obviously me and Dan had a good battle. He lost out to Rob Johnson in the end by the looks of it, but yeah, me and Dan had a good battle in the final. And then we're gonna call out Ryan Taylor here, the lone SRK1 driver. Ryan didn't have a very good day at all. He just got wiped out in every heat. Yeah, it's not a good day all round for Swift Cooper, unfortunately. So let's take a look at those team championships. So the team championship overall, as you can see, Swift Cooper A have dropped to second, as BSRA had a really good round. Obviously Neil and Morgan taking a 1-2, almost maximum points, but Luke scuppered that by taking the fastest lap. And then if we look to the green at the bottom, you can see Swift Cooper B, we've dropped to 8th overall, second in the SRK2 championship. Mark and George had a really good round this round in comparison to the rest of us. Obviously they scored 270 points to our 199. So yeah, they had a decent result and have jumped us for first place in the team championship. But we're hoping we can challenge back for that as the season goes on. We're feeling good about that. We're coming for you. You guys at Team 22, it's going to be fun. And then if we take a look at the overall driver standings for SRK2, you can see I'm currently sat in P4 in class after my second place in class, 12th overall at Castle Combe, and then I took 35th overall here in Herefordshire. And so yeah, not too happy with 35th, but as you see, I haven't dropped that much. 4th is fine. If that's a dropped round, then I'm on for a decent result. Aidan with a commanding early lead at the moment, really good. And then Mark also putting in a great couple of rounds. And yeah, Thomas Seabrook there taking a decent. He's actually got the best overall worst finish, if that makes sense. He took 25th at Castle Combe and then won SRK2 in at Hereford. But as I said in the video, all the SRK2 drivers finished further down the grid in this one compared to Castle Combe. It wasn't so mixed up, the grid for this one. Most of the SRK1 drivers were above the SRK2 drivers, so it was much more congested in SRK2. But yeah, 4th overall after 2 rounds. We got a bit of a break before the next round, which is good because I've hurt my ribs, so I need a couple of weeks rest. But no SRK round in May. Next one is Race World Exeter, a double header day. It's going to be such a long day. We've got a reverse layout of the grid and the regular layout of the grid, and with the regular layout we will have pit stops as well. So that's going to be a really interesting event, really interesting day. I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully we can take 2 good results from that and just power on back into that top 3 in the standings, and also take back the lead of that team championship. But that's gonna do it for Herefordshire, guys. Fantastic track. I had an absolute whale of a time, and yeah, I can't wait for rounds 3 and 4 coming up in June. Keep an eye on the channel for other updates from other championships, Castle Combe Karting Championship and other things that I've been up to. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Goodbye.